In the vast expanse of the galaxy, whispers traveled faster than light itself. Alien civilizations shared stories of a strange and powerful force rising on a small, blue planet called Earth. Most of these stories were dismissed. The humans, these aliens said, were primitive, weak, and divided. They had no advanced fleets, no giant war machines, no weapon that could challenge a star empire. And yet, the rumors persisted. Across Earth, life continued as usual. Cities bustled with activity. People went to work, children laughed in schoolyards, and markets overflowed with energy and chatter. But hidden beneath the surface, the nations of Earth were quietly building something no one could imagine. Governments, scientists, engineers, and visionaries from every corner of the planet had united for one purpose. They were constructing a warship of unimaginable size and power. They called it Aegis Prime. In a secret ocean facility, Dr. Rami, a leading engineer, walked along the enormous hull of Aegis Prime. He placed his hand against the smooth metal and felt the hum of energy running through the ship. Every panel, every circuit, every weapon system had been designed with care and precision. Rami knew the galaxy would never see anything like this. He thought of the aliens who had laughed at humans for centuries. Soon, they would understand. Around the world, ordinary citizens noticed unusual activities. Massive construction sites appeared in deserts, deep in oceans, and even under mountains. Strange metal towers rose into the sky, cranes worked day and night, and enormous ships moved materials from one secret location to another. People whispered about mysterious projects, about machines that seemed alive, and about the hum of power that could be felt even from miles away. But no one could guess the truth. Above Earth, alien scouts passed silently through the solar system. They observed the planet, noting the sudden surge of energy. Sensors detected unusual signals and strange energy emissions, but the humans seemed unprepared for war. Most aliens assumed these signals were nothing more than myths, imagining that Earth was too small, too weak, and too divided to ever pose a real threat. On Earth, humans worked tirelessly. Engineers coordinated massive energy reactors. Scientists designed engines capable of bending physics to move a ship faster than any known vessel. Soldiers trained in zero-gravity combat. And ordinary people contributed in their own ways, providing resources, knowledge, and support. For the first time in history, the planet was united by a single purpose. In the halls of the United Nations, leaders from every nation gathered. They spoke of peace, of protection, and of the hope that humanity could finally stand strong in the galaxy. Yet, even in these meetings, there was fear. Could humans truly control such power? Could they prevent it from destroying everything they loved? The questions were many, but the decision had already been made. Aegis Prime would rise, and Earth would no longer hide in the shadows. In the deserts of Africa, massive drills dug deep into the ground, uncovering rare metals essential for the ship's construction. In the frozen lands of Antarctica, enormous reactors were installed beneath the ice, producing energy that would power Aegis Prime. In the oceans, hidden factories churned day and night, assembling massive components that would soon become part of the ship's hull. Humanity was everywhere, yet nobody outside these projects knew the truth. Aliens continued to watch. Some were curious, some were amused, and some began to worry. The signals from Earth were growing stronger. Energy patterns unlike anything in the galaxy were forming. Aegis Prime was almost complete, and when it awakened, the universe would have to notice. Dr. Rami walked to the control room and activated a small panel. The ship's main systems responded with a soft hum. Lights flickered across the walls, and a holographic display showed the progress of every weapon, every shield, and every engine. Rami smiled. Humanity had achieved the impossible. They had built a warship capable of challenging even the mightiest forces in the galaxy. And somewhere, in distant star systems, the whispers grew louder. Aliens who had once laughed now shared nervous messages. The humans, they realized, were not the weak species they had always assumed. Something extraordinary was rising on Earth. Something that would change the balance of power across the stars. For now, Aegis Prime remained hidden, but its presence was undeniable. The day was coming when Earth would reveal its strength, and when that day arrived, the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The day had arrived. After years of secret construction, the massive warship Aegis Prime rested in its hidden ocean bay, surrounded by mountains and thick clouds. Its hull reflected the sunlight, casting a golden shimmer across the waves. The ship was larger than any known vessel, stretching for miles. Its weapons, shields, and engines were ready. Every system had been tested, every calculation checked, and yet the excitement among the humans was electric. Dr. Rami stood on the observation deck, staring at the ship. He could feel the energy pulsing through the hull. It was alive in a way, not like a living creature, but like a heartbeat of human ingenuity. Around him, engineers, soldiers, and leaders moved with precise coordination. Each person understood the importance of this moment. This was not just a warship. This was a statement. Captain Lean, a veteran of Earth's space program, walked up to Dr. Rami. "Are you ready to activate the engines?" she asked. Her voice carried a mixture of pride and tension. Rami nodded. "More than ready. The galaxy will finally see what humans can do." The engines roared to life, sending vibrations across the ocean. Water sprayed in great arcs, and the hull shimmered as energy flowed into every system. Aegis Prime slowly rose from the water, moving with surprising grace for its massive size. The surrounding mountains seemed tiny in comparison. A crowd of onlookers, kept at a safe distance, watched in awe. Humanity had built a Titan, and it was awake. From space, alien scouts detected the massive power signature. Sensors flared, alarms rang across distant fleets. Some aliens watched in disbelief. Others felt fear for the first time. The humans were not primitive. They had created something beyond imagination. Messages were sent across the galaxy. Rumors became fact. Earth had built a warship capable of challenging star empires. Back on Earth, the leadership held a meeting in a secure command center inside the ship. Holographic displays showed Earth's position in the galaxy and nearby alien fleets. Ministers, generals, and scientists discussed the strategy. They knew the warship could destroy entire planets if necessary, but their goal was not to strike first. Humanity wanted security, respect, and a chance to be treated as equals among the stars. Captain Lean stood at the bridge of Aegis Prime, looking at the holographic display of the solar system. She could see distant ships moving cautiously toward Earth. Some were curious. Others were aggressive. The humans had to act carefully. One wrong move could spark a war. She took a deep breath. "Prepare all systems for demonstration. We show our power, but we do not attack unless necessary." Meanwhile, across Earth, people celebrated quietly. They had contributed to the creation of the greatest ship in history. Scientists and engineers exchanged messages of pride. Families watched from safe zones as the ship rose and moved gracefully in the ocean bay. Children pointed at the sky, imagining the adventures that Aegis Prime would have among the stars. Humans had done what no one thought possible. High above Earth, an alien fleet approached. They had heard of Aegis Prime, but no sensor or story had prepared them for the reality. The ship dwarfed their largest cruisers. Its shields glowed faintly, and its engines emitted a steady hum that seemed to vibrate in space itself. Alien captains sent messages of warning, testing humanity's response. The humans replied calmly, signaling that the ship's presence was a statement, not a threat. Dr. Rami monitored the communications with awe. "They are beginning to understand," he said. "They see that humans are not what they believed. They see that Earth has risen." Around him, engineers continued their work, ensuring every system remained stable. The ship's weapons were ready, but the focus was on demonstration. Humans had the power to destroy, but they also had the wisdom to control it. As the sun set over the ocean bay, Aegis Prime lifted fully into the air. Its engines pushed it slowly upward, revealing the full scale of the warship. The onlookers gasped, and cameras broadcast the event to hidden networks across the planet. The world saw the rise of a new force. For the first time, humans were united not by fear, conflict, or politics, but by a shared achievement. In the distance, alien scouts transmitted warnings back to their home systems. Panic, awe, and respect mixed in their messages. The humans had shown not just power, but intelligence, planning, and patience. The galaxy was beginning to understand that Earth was no longer a weak, primitive world. Something extraordinary had awakened. Captain Lean looked out from the bridge, her eyes focused on the horizon. Aegis Prime floated above the oceans, glowing under the fading sunlight. The ship was ready to face whatever came from the stars, but humanity would remain patient. They had awakened a Titan, and now the galaxy would watch. They were no longer ordinary. They were a force to be reckoned with. And far away, in distant star systems, civilizations that had once ignored Earth began to take notice. The whispers were gone. The fear and curiosity replaced them. The humans had awakened something that could not be ignored. The Titan had risen, and the day of reckoning was coming for anyone who doubted the strength of Earth. The stars above Earth shone calmly, but the galaxy was beginning to stir. Alien scouts that had once ignored the small blue planet now reported a massive warship moving through the oceans. Aegis Prime floated like a metallic mountain, its shields glowing faintly and engines humming with raw power. On Earth, scientists monitored the signals, carefully calculating the distance and trajectory of approaching alien ships. Captain Lean stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. "They are coming closer," she said. Her voice was calm but filled with anticipation. Engineers, soldiers, and leaders crowded the room, ready to see how the galaxy would react. They knew this would be the first real test of humanity's power. The approaching fleet belonged to the Trillion Empire, a civilization that had conquered dozens of star systems. Their ships were sleek, fast, and armed with advanced energy weapons. From their perspective, Earth was just another small planet. They assumed that any humans they encountered would flee or surrender immediately. They had no idea what awaited them. A transmission arrived from the Trillion flagship. The alien voice was stern and commanding, its message clear: "Humans, identify yourselves. State your purpose. Surrender your planet to the Trillion Empire, or face destruction." The aliens believed they were testing humans, confident that fear and threats would be enough to control the small species. Captain Lean exchanged a glance with Dr. Rami. "This is it," she said. "We respond with caution, but we do not back down." The communication officer typed a careful reply. The message was simple: "Earth is not your subject. We will defend our planet, but we prefer peace. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness." The Trillion fleet laughed at the response. They assumed it was empty bravado. Their ships advanced toward Earth's orbit, weapons ready. Yet as they approached, the first signs of Aegis Prime's true power became clear. Energy fields shimmered across the ship's surface, creating a barrier that could not be pierced by any known weapon. The Trillion sensors went wild, detecting power levels they could barely calculate. Captain Lean gave the command to raise the main shields and prepare the demonstration weapons. The crew worked quickly, activating systems that had never been tested in real combat. Rami monitored the energy output, making sure every strike would be precise. Humanity was about to show the galaxy that their strength was no myth. From the bridge of the Trillion flagship, the alien commander noticed the scale of the human warship. "Impossible," he muttered. "They cannot have built such a machine. These humans are primitive. This is a trick." But the readings confirmed the truth. The humans had created something beyond imagination. Fear began to ripple through the Trillion fleet. Captain Lean gave the final order. Aegis Prime's weapons activated with a soft hum, but instead of firing directly at the fleet, a series of precise energy bursts were launched near the alien ships. The bursts created powerful shockwaves in space, strong enough to disable engines and communications without causing fatalities. The Trillion ships spun out of control, forced to retreat under the sheer presence of human technology. The Trillion commander's voice trembled as he sent a new message. We surrender. We wish to negotiate. We underestimated your species. You are not what we thought. Captain Lean read the message aloud to the bridge crew. This is the mercy demonstration. We show our strength, but we offer peace to those who submit without harm. Across Earth, news of the first contact spread through secret networks. Scientists, leaders, and ordinary citizens celebrated quietly. Humans had faced the galaxy and had not only survived, but they had asserted their power with intelligence and restraint. The story of Aegis Prime and the Trillion fleet would become a legend. Dr. Rami leaned back in his chair, exhausted but proud. They saw what humans are capable of. Not just power, but wisdom, he said. Captain Lean nodded. This is the first of many steps. The galaxy will no longer ignore Earth. The Trillion fleet retreated to their home system, sending urgent reports to other civilizations. Panic spread quickly. Alien empires that had once dismissed humans began to reconsider. They realized that the blue planet was no longer weak. Something extraordinary had emerged. As Aegis Prime returned to its orbit above the oceans, Captain Lean gave orders to continue monitoring the galaxy. Sensors were adjusted, communication channels strengthened, and defenses remained on high alert. Humans had proven themselves, but the galaxy was vast and full of unknown threats. Preparation and vigilance would always be necessary. For the first time, the citizens of Earth looked up at the night sky with a mixture of pride and hope. They had built a warship capable of defending their planet and challenging the universe. They had shown the galaxy that humans were clever, courageous, and disciplined. Aegis Prime was not just a machine, it was a symbol of humanity's awakening. Far away, in distant star systems, leaders of alien empires began sending messages of curiosity and respect. Some sought alliances, others offered resources. The humans had passed their first test. The galaxy had noticed. And on Earth, Captain Lean and Dr. Rami looked at Aegis Prime silently. The ship's engines glowed softly, its weapons were ready, and its mission was clear. Humanity had taken the first step toward its place among the stars. They were no longer a small, ignored species. They were a force to be reckoned with. The Trillion fleet had barely returned to its home system when the news of Aegis Prime spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Star systems that had ignored Earth now trembled with a mixture of fear and respect. Alien civilizations paused their expansion, halted their wars, and sent urgent messages to one another. The humans were no longer a small, weak species. They had awakened a force unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. On Earth, scientists and engineers continued monitoring signals from distant systems. Dr. Rami stood in the control room, studying the incoming transmissions. Every message carried a new level of astonishment. Some aliens admitted openly that they had underestimated humans. Others sent cautious greetings, asking for treaties and assurances. Even civilizations that had once been hostile now reconsidered their stance. Captain Lean paced the bridge of Aegis Prime. The galaxy is responding exactly as we expected, she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes reflected the tension of responsibility. We cannot rush into conflict. We must show that our strength is for defense and fairness, not for conquest. Her officers nodded. They understood that every action of humanity would now be watched carefully. In distant systems, alien leaders held emergency councils. Some wanted to launch preemptive strikes against Earth, thinking that humanity might grow even more powerful. Others argued for diplomacy, realizing that attacking humans could lead to devastating retaliation. Reports from scouts and sensors confirmed the terrifying truth: Aegis Prime could destroy entire planets, and humans had the skill to use it with precision. Back on Earth, ordinary citizens began to notice changes in the sky. Satellites picked up unusual activity, and secret broadcasts revealed that alien ships were diverting from Earth's orbit. Rumors spread, but governments assured people that humanity was safe. The planet had united, not through fear, but through the shared achievement of creating a protector that no civilization could ignore. Aegis Prime rose above the oceans, its engines glowing softly under the sunlight. The ship's presence alone sent a clear message to the galaxy: humans were awake, and they were united. Captain Lean ordered the crew to maintain a visible patrol near Earth's orbit, demonstrating control without aggression. Sensors scanned the stars continuously, detecting fleets that approached with caution. Every alien commander knew that Earth now had the power to defend itself and enforce its will if necessary. Dr. Rami turned to his team. "We must prepare for the next step," he said. "The galaxy will not wait forever. Some civilizations will test us, and we must be ready." Engineers worked tirelessly to upgrade shields, improve energy output, and refine targeting systems. Humanity had passed its first test with the Trillion Fleet, but the galaxy was vast and full of unknown challenges. Preparation and vigilance were essential. Messages from alien civilizations arrived in rapid succession. Some offered alliances, trade, and shared knowledge. Others pleaded for mercy, begging humans not to punish their species for past mistakes. Captain Lean reviewed the communications carefully. "We have a choice," she said. "We can strike fear, or we can show wisdom and restraint. Humanity must lead with both strength and morality." The Trillion ambassador, now stationed on Earth, spoke to human leaders. "Your species has changed the balance of power in the galaxy," he said. "We underestimated you. We seek guidance and partnership. We hope for peace." Dr. Rami smiled at the ambassador's words. "That is what humans offer," he said. "We are strong, but we act with reason. We show mercy when it is deserved, and we defend when it is necessary." In space, other alien fleets observed the events quietly. The display of discipline and precision left them shocked. Many civilizations that had once considered Earth insignificant now sent delegations to negotiate. The humans had demonstrated that their intelligence, courage, and restraint were as important as their technological power. The galaxy was learning a lesson it would never forget. On Earth, people looked up at the night sky and felt a new sense of pride. Humans had achieved the impossible. They had created a protector for their world, a symbol of unity and ingenuity. The galactic shockwave was not just about fear. It was about respect. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, not through domination, but through wisdom and courage. Captain Lean watched Aegis Prime hover silently above the oceans. "We have shown them what humans are capable of," she said. "Now we must continue to show that our power is balanced by mercy and fairness." Dr. Rami nodded. "The galaxy has begun to listen," he said. "And they will continue to watch." In distant star systems, civilizations began to prepare for meetings with Earth. Some sought knowledge, some sought protection, and some simply sought understanding. The humans had awakened something extraordinary. They were no longer a species to be ignored or dismissed. They were a new force in the galaxy, one that combined power, wisdom, and morality. Aegis Prime remained ready, a silent guardian above the oceans. The galaxy was in motion, and humanity had become the center of attention. What had begun as rumors in the stars had grown into a reality. Earth had risen, and civilizations were beginning to understand that the humans were not only strong, but capable of mercy, fairness, and leadership. The galaxy watched in awe as Earth's warship, Aegis Prime, hovered silently above the oceans. Alien civilizations had received news of its power, yet many remained skeptical. They believed that humans might strike first if given the chance. The leadership of Earth knew this was the moment to prove that their strength was not meant for conquest, but for protection and justice. Captain Lean stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the vastness of space. Sensors detected a rogue fleet approaching from a distant system. These ships were heavily armed and had a reputation for aggression. They were testing Earth's capabilities, expecting fear and hesitation. The humans would respond differently. Dr. Rami joined her at the control panel. "They do not know what they face," he said. "We have the power to destroy them, but we must show mercy first. That is what will define humanity." The crew nodded. Every officer understood the significance of this encounter. It was not just a test of firepower, but a demonstration of wisdom. The alien fleet sent a threatening message. "Humans, surrender immediately, or face annihilation. Resistance will be punished." Captain Lean read the message aloud and turned to her crew. "We will demonstrate our mercy. Prepare the precision systems. Engage only to disable, not to destroy." Aegis Prime's engines glowed as the ship moved into position. Energy fields shimmered across its hull, and the weapons systems powered up, ready to act with surgical accuracy. The aliens advanced, confident that their intimidation would succeed. They did not understand that humans were not guided by fear, but by strategy and intelligence. The first strike was precise and calculated. Small energy pulses disabled the engines of the lead alien ship, leaving it drifting harmlessly in space. Communications were blocked temporarily, cutting off coordination between the fleet. The aliens panicked, realizing that their power was ineffective against the humans' technology. Yet no lives were lost. The humans had made it clear that their goal was control, not slaughter. Captain Lean issued a second command. "Move to stabilize the remaining ships. Show them they have a choice." The crew worked in perfect synchronization. Energy bursts targeted weapon systems, shields, and engines, leaving the fleet immobilized but unharmed. The aliens were forced to surrender without bloodshed. Their eyes widened with astonishment and fear. They had expected destruction, yet they were met with mercy and discipline. Dr. Rami monitored the communications as the alien commander sent a message of surrender. We did not expect this. Your species is unlike any we have encountered. We surrender and request guidance. Please, show us mercy." Captain Lean smiled slightly. "This is the mercy demonstration," she said. "We have the power to destroy, but we act with reason. That is what humans do." Across Earth, secret monitoring stations received transmissions from the alien fleet. Scientists and engineers watched in awe. They saw humans acting not as conquerors, but as protectors. Families looked up at the sky, feeling a new sense of pride. Humanity had shown that strength could be combined with wisdom and compassion. The Trillion ambassador, now stationed on Earth, observed the demonstration carefully. "This is extraordinary," he said. "Your species has redefined the concept of power. You do not strike without purpose. You do not kill without reason. You are not like any civilization I have known." Dr. Rami nodded. "That is the message we want to send. Power is meaningless without wisdom." News of the Mercy demonstration spread quickly, reaching distant star systems. Civilizations that had once feared humans now regarded them with a mixture of awe and respect. Alliances were reconsidered, trade agreements proposed, and peaceful cooperation became possible. The rogue fleet's surrender had sent a powerful message: humans were not to be underestimated, yet they valued life and justice above conquest. Captain Lean stood on the bridge, watching the disabled alien ships being escorted safely back to their home system. She felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Humanity had passed another test. They had shown that they could defend their planet and assert authority without unnecessary violence. They had demonstrated that intelligence, courage, and morality could work together to command respect across the stars. Dr. Rami looked at her and said, "The galaxy has learned a lesson today. Humans are not only capable of incredible power, but we are also capable of mercy. That will shape how civilizations treat Earth from now on." Captain Lean nodded. "The mercy demonstration is just the beginning. We will continue to protect our planet, but we will also lead with wisdom." As Aegis Prime returned to a stable orbit above Earth, the citizens of the planet felt a renewed sense of unity. They had contributed, in some way, to the creation of a protector for the world. They had witnessed humanity rising as a force to be respected, admired, and cautiously trusted by civilizations across the galaxy. In distant star systems, alien leaders sent messages of peace and cooperation. Some offered knowledge and technology. Others requested alliances and protection. Humans had passed the first major test of their strength and character. The galaxy was beginning to recognize that Earth was no longer a small, insignificant planet, but a beacon of power, intelligence, and moral authority. Captain Lean and Dr. Rami watched the stars silently. The universe was vast, full of challenges and unknown threats. But humanity had proven its capability. They had awakened a new era, one where strength was tempered by wisdom, and where mercy could command respect even across the cold expanse of space. Aegis Prime glowed softly above the oceans, a symbol of human ingenuity, unity, and moral authority. The galaxy had seen the mercy demonstration, and it would never forget it. The galaxy was quiet for a moment, but that calm was filled with tension. Alien civilizations that had once ignored Earth now sent urgent messages, broadcasts, and delegations. The humans had demonstrated unmatched power and wisdom. Entire star systems paused, realizing that Earth was no longer a planet to challenge, ignore, or underestimate. Captain Lean stood on the bridge of Aegis Prime, reviewing incoming communications. Every message carried urgency. Civilizations begged for alliances, protection, and guidance. Some admitted past mistakes, acknowledging that they had treated humans with disdain. Others sought help against threats within their own systems, fearing that their defenses would not withstand the humans' might. Dr. Rami studied the transmissions. "They see that humans are strong," he said. "They see that we can destroy, but also that we will act with fairness. That is why they plead." The crew listened carefully. This was unlike any other moment in history. Humans had gone from being overlooked to being the center of attention for the galaxy. From the distant system of Varnus, a fleet sent a message directly to Earth's command. "We acknowledge the wisdom and strength of your species. We request protection and alliance. We offer knowledge, resources, and trade. Please, accept our plea." Captain Lean nodded and replied, ensuring that the message conveyed both respect and fairness. Humanity was not acting as a conqueror, but as a leader willing to guide with reason. In another sector, the Scarus civilization sent a fleet to orbit Earth. Their representatives requested an audience with human leaders. "Your species has shown a combination of courage, intelligence, and restraint," they said. "We seek guidance and protection. We wish to avoid conflict and learn from your ways." Dr. Rami smiled at the message. "They recognize the difference between power and wisdom," he said. "That is the lesson humanity is teaching the galaxy." On Earth, citizens followed the news in secret. Scientists, engineers, and ordinary families felt pride. They realized that they had contributed to a protector for their world, one that not only defended but also led with fairness. The planet had become a symbol of hope, intelligence, and moral authority. Humans were no longer passive observers in the galaxy. Aegis Prime hovered silently above the oceans, its energy fields shimmering in the sunlight. The ship had proven that it could destroy entire fleets, yet it had chosen restraint. This combination of power and mercy was unprecedented in the galaxy. Alien civilizations began to respect humans not just for strength, but for the wisdom to use it carefully. Captain Lean addressed her officers. We will respond to each plea carefully. We must ensure that Earth remains safe, but we also have a chance to shape the galaxy for the better. Engineers and strategists nodded, preparing plans to assist civilizations that had requested help. Humans had the capability to guide, protect, and inspire. From the distant star system of Kareth, a leader sent a trembling message. We underestimated your species. We beg for mercy. Our world is defenseless. We offer allegiance and knowledge. Please spare us. The humans responded with kindness and clear instructions. Earth would offer guidance, protection, and a chance to contribute to peaceful progress. This was the first time many civilizations had encountered a species that combined power with ethics. In the skies above Earth, satellites monitored alien fleets moving carefully through space. Some were curious. Some were cautious. Many were still hesitant, unsure of the humans' true intentions. But after the Mercy demonstration, after seeing the power and discipline of Aegis Prime, they approached with respect rather than aggression. Humans had set a new standard for interaction between civilizations. Dr. Rami reflected on the events. We have awakened something extraordinary, he said. The galaxy now sees humans as a force of reason, strength, and fairness. They plead because they recognize that we are capable of both judgment and mercy. Captain Lean nodded. We must continue to act wisely, she said. Our goal is not conquest, but security, unity, and guidance. Humanity must lead by example. As messages continued to pour in, Earth began to respond carefully, offering alliances, sharing knowledge, and extending protection. Alien leaders recognized that they were witnessing the rise of a new kind of civilization. Humans were strong, intelligent, and disciplined, yet merciful and just. The galaxy was learning that power alone was not enough. True respect was earned through wisdom and moral responsibility. From the observation deck of Aegis Prime, Captain Lean and Dr. Rami looked out at the oceans. Humanity had risen, not through fear or aggression, but through skill, unity, and moral courage. Alien civilizations now pleaded for mercy, alliances, and cooperation. The galaxy had changed. The humans had proven that they were a species capable of extraordinary strength and extraordinary restraint. And as the stars twinkled above, Aegis Prime glowed softly in orbit, a symbol of hope, protection, and the new authority of Earth. The galaxy had begun to understand that humanity had arrived, and it had arrived with both power and mercy. The galaxy was no longer the same. The rise of Aegis Prime and humanity's disciplined power had shifted the balance of the stars. Alien civilizations that had once ignored or underestimated Earth now approached with respect, caution, and curiosity. Humans had proven that they were strong, intelligent, and capable of both restraint and mercy. Captain Lean stood on the bridge of Aegis Prime, watching fleets from distant systems approach Earth carefully. Some came with ambassadors, seeking alliances. Others carried messages of trade, knowledge, and cooperation. The humans had become a central force in the galaxy, a symbol of balance between power and wisdom. Dr. Rami joined her, studying the communications flowing into the ship. They are finally learning, he said. Humans are not just a species that can fight. We are a species that can lead, guide, and protect. Lean nodded. The galaxy needed to see this. Strength alone would have brought fear. But combined with mercy, it brings respect and trust. On Earth, citizens watched the skies and felt a renewed sense of unity. Humanity had built more than a warship. They had built a future. Children dreamed of joining the crews of exploration ships. Scientists continued to develop technology that would allow peaceful travel, exploration, and understanding. Engineers worked on systems that could support both defense and diplomacy. Humanity had risen as one. Alien emissaries arrived on Earth for the first time. They marveled at the planet, at its cities, and at the people who had created Aegis Prime. Many admitted that they had doubted humans before, but now they recognized Earth as a place of wisdom, courage, and innovation. Humans welcomed them with curiosity and fairness, setting the tone for a new era of interstellar cooperation. The Trillion Ambassador, who had witnessed humanity's first displays of power and mercy, addressed a gathering of leaders. Your species has shown the galaxy what true strength is. You do not destroy for conquest. You defend, guide, and protect. The universe has much to learn from Earth. Captain Lean smiled quietly. That is what we hope to teach. Power must be used wisely. Mercy must guide decisions. That is how we survive and thrive. Across the galaxy, civilizations began forming councils and alliances with Earth. They shared knowledge, technology, and cultural wisdom. They learned that humans were capable of great invention, careful planning, and moral leadership. Conflict decreased in many regions as species realized that Earth could enforce fairness without unnecessary violence. The galaxy began to stabilize in a way it never had before. Aegis Prime remained in orbit as a guardian, but it was no longer only a weapon. It had become a symbol. Its presence reminded every civilization that humanity could protect, but also guide. The warship represented unity, intelligence, and the responsibility that came with power. It was a testament to what humans could achieve when they worked together. Dr. Rami walked through the control room, observing the crew. Engineers, scientists, and officers moved with quiet pride. Each person understood their role in shaping history. They were no longer building just for Earth, but for a future in which humanity would play a central role in the galaxy. Every calculation, every test, every decision had brought them to this moment. Captain Lean looked out at the stars. They stretched endlessly, full of possibility and unknown challenges. We have achieved much, she said. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast, and we must continue to act wisely. Dr. Rami nodded. Humanity has proven itself. Now it must continue to guide and protect, showing strength and mercy in every action. On Earth, people celebrated quietly. Not with displays of war, but with hope and pride. Humanity had risen from a small, overlooked species to a central force in the galaxy. They had shown that strength could be combined with ethics, that intelligence could guide power, and that mercy could command respect. Earth had become a beacon, a model for cooperation, courage, and wisdom. Alien civilizations began sending ambassadors regularly. Scientists shared discoveries, engineers collaborated on new technology, and diplomats learned from humans' careful balance of power and fairness. The galaxy was transforming, and humans were at the heart of that transformation. Aegis Prime hovered silently above the oceans, its engines glowing softly in the sunlight. It had defended Earth, demonstrated power, and inspired the galaxy. But most importantly, it had shown that humanity could lead with wisdom and mercy. Captain Lean and Dr. Rami stood together on the observation deck, watching alien ships approach respectfully. We have created more than a warship, Lean said. We have created a new era. Rami smiled. The galaxy will remember the day humans rose, not just as warriors, but as leaders. And as the stars twinkled above Earth, the blue planet shone as a symbol of hope, intelligence, and moral authority. Humanity had taken its place among the stars. The galaxy had learned that Earth was no longer to be ignored. The humans had arrived, and they had arrived with strength, wisdom, and mercy. The new galactic era had begun.